What's up guys, it's G2E Gaming here, and today we have the 5th episode of our Grimsby Town Road to Glory, and to start this episode off, we are looking at our preseason offers, and we will be participating in the European International Cup, as it is the tournament that will offer us the most prize money. Looking at our youth academy, I've decided to invest even more money into it, as we have gotten rid of that 2-star, 3-star scout and replaced it with a 4-star, 4-star scout. Our scouts will be going to Scotland to find some defenders, to Northern Ireland to find some strong players, and to England to find some playmakers. The only issue that we have heading into the season is that Vertanen is still injured after tearing his ACL towards the end of last season. The main player that I am looking to bring in this transfer window is Kylian Sardea, as he is currently worth $3.4 million. However, he has a release clause of $2.35 million. We have gone on to sign Kylian Sardella for $2.35 million thanks to his release clause. With that signing of Sardella, this is how we will be lining up. We'll have Campbell in goal, we'll have Staunton, Pollock, and Rafferty at center backs, Sardella at right mid, Sullivan at center mid, Lancaster at left mid, McNamee and Sibley at attacking mids, with Vertanen and Gioacchini up top. With all of those players signed and healthy, we will be a 2.5-star team. We'll have a 68 rated offense, a 68 rated midfield, and a 67 rated defense. We have sold our first player of the season, as we have sold our goalkeeper Liam Evans to Cracovia for $490,000. We now get right into the season as we travel to the Field Mill to face Mansfield Town. Mansfield Town will be lining up in a 5-2-1-2. We're going to have to watch out for their attacking mid Con. We will be lining up in our 3-3-2-2. The only change that we have made is, since Vertanen is still out injured, our youth striker Taylor will be taking his place. In the 86th minute, Mansfield Town have a corner. It gets whipped in, headed around before it gets tapped into the back of the net as we go down 1-0. At full time, we would lose to Mansfield Town 1-0, as this is definitely not the start to the season that we wanted. We got even more bad news in that Mansfield Town game, as George Sullivan tore his ACL and he will be out for 7 months. We now have some good news, as Vertanen has returned from his injury and he will be joining the team in a couple of weeks. We have sold another player in Charles Baker, as he will be going to AFC Wimbledon for $470,000. I have also decided to go on to loan out Gioacchini for 2 years to Fenerbahce, as I have signed a new striker. That new striker that we signed is Daryl Dyke. He had a release clause of $1.55 million, and we decided to buy him as he is an extremely strong player, as he already has 99 strength. With all of our injuries to the team this season, I've decided to change us to a 3-4-2-1, as we'll have Campbell in goal, Staunton, Pollock, and Rafferty at the back, Sibley and Lynch at center mids, Lancaster and Sardea out wide, McNamee and Vertanen playing center forwards, with Dyke at striker. We have decided to loan out Brennan Crowe to Albacete BP for 1 year. We now go to the Kian Prince Foundation to face QPR. QPR will be lining up in a 4-2-3-1. The player that we will most likely have to watch out for is Smith, their striker. We will be lining up in that 3-4-2-1. I've made a couple of changes, as Allen is in at right center back. Sibley has been moved over, as Staunton has moved to center back. In the 87th minute, Dyke plays the ball out wide to Sardea, who crosses it into Staunton, who heads the ball into the back of the net to score the late goal for us as we go up 1-0. At full time, we would go on to beat QPR 1-0 thanks to a goal from Staunton in the 87th minute. I've decided to loan out Rob Taylor, as again, he will not be starting, but he still has high enough potential, so he will be going to Tijuana for 1 year. One player from our youth academy that I will be promoting is Nicholas Cox. He's a 60 overall, and he has a potential of 82 to 88. I do not see him playing any games. However, if someone gets injured, then he is a reliable backup. Cox has actually gone on to surprise me as he is an exciting prospect, so he could have a future at the club. That future at the club definitely is not right now, as we have decided to loan him out for 2 years to Urawa Reds. We now host Newcastle United in the third round of the Carabao Cup. For this game against Newcastle United, we will be lining up in that 3-4-2-1. Newcastle United will be lining up in a 4-4-2, as they definitely are a very good team right now. In the 8th minute, Joel Linton is played in behind the defense. It is then played out wide to St. Maximum, who plays it back to Joel Linton, who puts the ball into the back of the net to put Newcastle up 1-0 early in the game. In the 19th minute, St. Maximin has the ball out wide. He plays it into their striker, who flips it on to Joel Linton, who puts the ball into the back of the net to put them up 2-0. In the 26th minute, Dyke has the ball out wide. He's then able to go past the defender before smashing it near post to get us back 1 goal, as we're now only down 2-1. In the 55th minute, Lancaster steps up to take a penalty for us. The keeper doesn't move as he converts his penalty to tie the game up at 2-2. After 90 minutes, we would end up being tied 2-2, which means we will go to penalties. The order in which we will be taking our penalties, we'll have Dyke going first, then Lancaster, then McNamee, then Vertanen, then Rafferty, then Allen, then Pollock. Dyke now steps up to take our first penalty as he looks to put it into the bottom left corner. The keeper dives the right way, however he cannot get enough on it as we score. Newcastle's player steps up and he hits the post. Lancaster now steps up as we look to put it in the bottom right corner. Their keeper dives the right way and is able to save that one. Campbell is able to save the next penalty. McNamee now looks to put it in the top left corner, which he is able to do as we're up 2-0 right now. Newcastle's next player steps up and he completely misses the goal, meaning that if Vertanen is able to score this goal, we will knock out Newcastle United. We will look to put it in the top right corner with Vertanen. We step up to take it and we chip the keeper as we go on to beat Newcastle United 3-0 on penalties. In a league game after that Newcastle United game, Cathal Staunton would end up breaking a metatarsal and he is out for 5 weeks. We definitely do not have a big choice of players heading into our next league game, as Sullivan, Staunton, and Allen are out injured, and Campbell, Vertanen, and McDonald are out on international duty. That league game would end up being one of the more important games as we host our rivals Scunthorpe United. For this game, we will be lining up in that 3-4-2-1. We will have McCohen in goal. We'll have White, Pollock, and Rafferty at center backs, Lynch and Sibley at center mids, Sardea and Lancaster at outside mids, Dillon and McNamee at center forwards with Dyke up top. Scunthorpe United will be lining up in a 4-4-1-1. We are definitely going to have to watch out for Van Veen as he is a physical, big goal-scoring striker. In the 14th minute, Scunthorpe United have the ball on the edge of our box, is then played into their striker. His first attempt is blocked, but another player follows up and scores to put Scunthorpe United up 1-0. In the 25th minute, Sibley gets the ball. He plays it through to Dillon, who hits it first time past the keeper to tie the game up at 1-1. In the 53rd minute, Scunthorpe United's player shoots. It goes off the post before it falls to Van Veen, who puts the ball into the back of the net to put Scunthorpe United up 2-1. In the 71st minute, we would have a penalty as Dyke steps up to take it. He sends the keeper the wrong way to tie the game up at 2-2. At full time, we would end up tying Scunthorpe United 2-2 as Dillon and Dyke scored for us. In the Carabao Cup, we host Norwich in the 4th round. We have made 2 changes from that starting lineup from that game against Scunthorpe United, as Campbell is in for McCohen and Vertanen is in for Dillon. Norwich will be lining up in a 4-2-3-1. The player we definitely have to watch out for is Teemu Pukki. In the 37th minute, Sardella has the ball out wide. He beats the defender before crossing it into McNamee, who smashes it into the back of the net to put us up 1-0. In the 72nd minute, Lancaster is in behind the defense before he plays it into Vertanen, who curls the ball around the keeper to put us up 2-0. At full time, we would go on to beat Norwich 2-0 as McNamee and Vertanen scored for us. Currently in the league, we are in first place with 41 points and Shrewsbury is in second place with 36 points as we play them in our next game. We now host Shrewsbury in this League One game as this game could be a potential early title decider. We have not made any changes to our starting lineup from that win against Norwich. Shrewsbury will be lining up in a 5-3-2. This is a defensive formation, however our formation is very offensive, so it should be a very even match. In the 9th minute, Pollock loses the ball to Shrewsbury. He plays his teammate in behind the defense as he curls it around Campbell to put Shrewsbury up 1-0. In the 59th minute, Shrewsbury have the ball out wide. It is then crossed into the back post where their striker puts it in the net off of Campbell to put Shrewsbury up 2-0. At full time, Shrewsbury would go on to defeat us 2-0 as we lost a very important game. One youth player that I have been working on is Shane Stewart. He is a 6'4" right back who is a 68 overall and he has a potential of 90 to 94 and he definitely will be a first team player. Stewart does have potential to be special as he definitely will be a crucial player for the team for the rest of his career. Another player that I am looking to promote is Bradley Turner. He is a center mid who has a potential of 75 to 94. I am only looking to promote him just to add some depth. Another player that I'm promoting is Connor Murphy, who is a 6'4" left back. He is a overall of 58 with a potential of 82 to 94, as he could be a key player for us in the future. Another player I'm promoting is Max Rose. He is a 64 overall center mid and has a potential of 67 to 91. And he is strictly being promoted just to add some depth to this team. After Noel Bryan grew by 3 overall, it has now been discovered that he is an exciting prospect. Keith McDonald is also an exciting prospect. After promoting Max Rose, we have gone on to sell him to Citadella for $830,000. We now head into a league game as we are facing Coventry City, as we have 50 points and they have 46 points. We do end up hosting Coventry City in that League One possible title deciding game. For this game, we will continue to line up in that 3-4-2-1. We have made a couple of changes as Campbell is in goal, Stewart, Pollock, and Rafferty will be playing center backs, Staunton returns from injury to join Sibley at center mids, Sardella and Lancaster out wide, McNamee and Vertanen at forwards with Dyke at striker. Coventry City will be lining up in a 5-2-3. As we definitely will look to take advantage of their lack of midfielders. In the 40th minute, Staunton has the ball out wide. He plays Dyke in behind the defense before Dyke puts the ball past the keeper to put us up 1-0. In the 53rd minute, Sardella has the ball out wide. He plays it through to Dyke, who taps it into the back of the net to put us up now 2-0. In the 59th minute, we turn the ball over before Coventry are able to capitalize on that opportunity, making the score now 2-1 us. At full time, we would go on to beat Coventry City 2-1 as we pick up the very crucial 3 points after not being able to do so against Shrewsbury. We have gotten more bad injury news as Bruce White has broken his tailbone and he will be out for 4 months. After Murphy has grown by 2 overalls, it has been discovered that he is an exciting prospect. We now have the Leasing.com Trophy Area Final as we travel to the Kean Prince Foundation to face QPR. QPR will be playing a 4-2-3-1. We will definitely have to watch out for Ote as he is a promising striker. We will be using the same lineup that we used in that game against Coventry City. In the 44th minute, we have the ball out wide. It is then crossed into Dyke, who shields the ball and puts the ball into the back of the net to put us up 1-0. In the 59th minute, Dyke has the ball. He backheels it to Vertanen before he backheels it back to him before he hits it first time to put us up 2-0. At full time, we would go on to knock out QPR of the Leasing.com Trophy thanks to 2 goals by Dyke. One player that I've decided to loan out is Lewis White, as he will be going out on a short loan to Arca Gadina. We now have our Carabao Cup game against Burnley in the quarterfinals. We will be lining up in this 3-4-2-1 again. The only change that we have made is we have dropped Staunton and put Lynch in. Burnley will be lining up in a 4-4-2, as their best player is most likely their goalkeeper Pope. In the 7th minute, we end up losing the ball in our box before Burnley capitalized on that failure as they go up 1-0 early in the game. In the 25th minute, Sardella has the ball out wide. He crosses it into Vertanen, who heads the ball into the back of the net to tie the game up at 1-1. In stoppage time of the first half, Sardella has the ball. He ends up losing the ball. Dijk muscles off a defender and then smashes it into the back of the net to put us up 2-1. In the stoppage time of the second half, Burnley are working the ball in our box before their player gets free and shoots the ball into the back of the net to tie the game up at 2-2 in the dying seconds. After tying the game 2-2, after 90 minutes, we head into penalties, as McNamee will be taking our first one, then Lancaster, then Dijk, then Vertanen, then Lynch, then Sibley, then Rafferty. McNamee now steps up to take the penalty as we look to put it in the bottom right corner. The goalkeeper unfortunately saves that penalty. Campbell is beaten for that penalty as we are currently down 1-0. Lancaster looks to put it in the just top left area. He shoots, however the keeper is also able to save that penalty. Their second shot taker ends up missing the goal completely as Dijk now has a chance to level it up. He sends the keeper the wrong way and is able to do so. Burnley's third player steps up and Campbell is able to save that penalty, meaning that we are all tied up. Vertanen looks to put it in the top right corner, which he is able to do. Burnley's fourth taker now steps up and he hits the crossbar, missing the goal, meaning that if Lynch is able to score this penalty, we will knock out Burnley. We look to put it in the top right corner. We do chip it, however we just chip it too high as it goes over the bar. Campbell now steps up, and if he is able to save this penalty, it means we will knock Burnley out of the Carabao Cup. Their player steps up, but Campbell is able to make the save as we knock Burnley out of the Carabao Cup on penalties. Just a couple of days before the transfer window opens, we have agreed a deal to loan out Bradley Allen to Al Hilal for the rest of the season. Lucas Campbell will also be heading out on loan for the rest of the season as he will be joining Wolfsberger AC. Heading into the month of January, looking at how we are doing in all competitions, in the league, we are currently 11 points in first as we are on pace to win the league. In the FA Cup, we have been drawn against Peterborough in the third round. In the Carabao Cup, we have been drawn in the semi-finals against Liverpool. In the area final of the Leasing.com trophy, we have been drawn against our main rivals Scunthorpe United. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you could help me out, go look at my German Road to Glory fan poll video, as I am asking you all to help me decide my next team. And it's J2B Gaming, signing off.